Welcome back. This is DJ Gary. I want you to like this video. I want you to subscribe. I want you to share. Do all those good things. Hope everybody having a great new year. I want to get into something that I think needs to be spoken about. And we're talking about Jackie Jackson. And, Jackie Jackson was, from the Jackson 5. Jackie Jackson was one of those guys that in the beginning really didn't have a humongous presence as a vocalist in the first couple of albums after Jackson 5. Like he wasn't singing lead. He was always background, ad libs, you know, that type of thing. And eventually, what would happen is, he was he was a fan favorite along with Michael, Jermaine, uh, the most popular. So when Motown got together, they had already did Michael's album, and then they did Jermaine's album. 1972 was really a heavy year for Motown because, for the Jackson 5, because it was a turning point. It was like they were here to stay. So Motown decided to work on Jackie Jackson's album. So Jackie Jackson's album is basically recorded probably around looking through the windows era, that kind of thing. And then it was released, I think, at the end of 1973. And it pretty much failed. Reasons as to why it failed, I mean, there's a bunch of things out there. There's a lot of things we can say, but Jackie Jackson is his voice. He has a good range. He has uh, he's well, I think he's an underrated vocalist. I think he has the third best voice in the Jackson 5. I think creating material for Jackie Jackson as a soloist was hard because everybody's used to, Jermaine's and Michael's tonality and pronunciations. But when it comes to Jackie Jackson, it's kind of like a different story. I mean, he could hold his own, but getting material just for him to sing as a solo artist had to be kind of like a hard task. Um, so they were scrambling with that. But I think ultimately what really made it kind of weird was the songs on there in general. Like you could tell, because by the time it came out, you have to remember the Jackson 5 sound had completely changed. You know, it wasn't it wasn't that, that bubblegum pop thing anymore, you know what I'm saying? Because uh they went through a transition period. Skywriter came out. You know, Michael's voice had changed. His solo album, Music and Me, came out. Um, Jermaine's album, I think, was on its way out. But by then, the sound had changed over the summer. You know, they were in there working with producers after producers. You know, Freddie Perrin was in there, but after a while, Freddie Perrin just kind of like went off and did his own thing. I think he was working with Edwin Starr on a movie on Hell Up in Harlem soundtrack. Uh, so the sound had changed. The sound went from this soulful type thing to all of a sudden being this, very disco, this pre-disco sound, and Get Togethers came out uh, September of '73. This is a complete change in sound from what it used to be. The corporation is not does not have any hands in the album. You know, corporation completely broke up. So while Get Together albums out, they come out with Jackie's album, but Jackie album is dated. You know, it's very dated. It's no updates, no updated sounds on there. It just, they waited too late to release it. And what it ended up happening was by then everybody was just like, oh, Jackie got an album? Okay. And then you got management at Motown. Management is like, they don't know how to market Jackie's album. You know, there wasn't really nothing of them saying like, oh yeah, Jackie got an album coming out, or it was just more so like, he was asked like one time on Soul Train when he was with the Jacksons performing on there, and it was just a brief, like 4 second uh, answer. You look at some of the songs on there, Do I Owe, you could tell that was recorded before uh, 73. This is probably recorded during Looking Through the Windows session, because Michael is in the background. He's singing uh, he's singing in a soprano. He's still like kind of like got some of his soprano voice, and you could hear, uh, there was "Then I'll Blow Your Mind" this time. It was a good cover, but it was featuring Jackson 5. But you could tell that there it was it was dated still. Um, most of the material on there is dated. Love Don't Want to Leave, that's like one of my favorites. Um, Thanks to You, that's my favorite on there. It's a good album. It's definitely a good album, but you know, it just fell by the wayside. It had some potential in it, but you know, uh, poor promotion, poor management in there because the Jackson Five is transitioning. They and so Jackie Jackson just kind of like got left at the sideline, and this was like the corporation last hoorah as a writing group, producing group. They all over the record, but uh, the unfortunate thing was, they broke up after this. And, like I said, it was poor timing. Now, why would you set a solo album at the end of 73 and it's dated? You know, they could have scrapped some of the songs and updated it, or they could have pushed his album to 74. I think if they would have released it in time, like maybe maybe like December of 72, gave it like a Christmas release, or even January 73, it probably could have made better noise, but you know, the Jackson 5 released two albums in 1 year. You got Michael album, you got Jermaine album. They going on tour. After they doing tour, they gotta do these photo sessions. Then it's back in studio recording the next album. Not only recording the next album, but you got songs that don't even make the album that they just putting it on the sideline. So, I think some of the song selection could have been a little bit better. They could have updated it, the sound, sound had changed, you know. There was a lot of things going on in it was really a missed opportunity. They could have capitalized hard on this. You know, they could have had Jackie do a solo spot on Soul Train. They could have had him perform something in concert from the album. They could have, they had so many opportunities, but it's like nobody really cared for the album. It was just like one of those, oh, another Jackson. Okay. And that was it. So all these things play a factor, and you know, marketing Jackie Jackson as a solo artist may have been even harder. Jackie Jackson, he reminds me of he got that Max Julian look. Google him if y'all don't know who's Max Julian. All right, I'm gonna end this video. Please like this, comment, subscribe. Thanks for listening. I'm out.